actually am the inventor of it. I came up with the idea in '03, '04, and started that year with a lot of help from the Student Council and other organizations who were willing to help me fund it. So we started in '04 and then have spent the last several years coming up with fundraisers so we can support it ourselves. The Art Annual is an opportunity for students to exhibit their work in a book. So it's like a perpetual exhibit. They get a copy, everybody gets a copy. One goes to the library, the principal, across the street. So they have an opportunity to view students' artwork. And it gives you an idea of the themes that might happen throughout that year. I've never known another district to do it. I love the opportunity that we get a chance to exhibit students' work and that people get to see it over and over and over, and it's really exciting to pass them out when they come back. A lot of work involved, a lot of organization. Mrs. Yelman's really helpful in organizing things and putting things in alphabetical order and collecting things and then making sure that I have a lot of people that support it that are adults outside the building, different companies and different individuals, so I like to make sure that I recognize them for all of their help, and then dealing with the printer and sending it off to the printer. You know, there's a lot of organization involved in it.
My name is Sammy Marcantonio, and I am a self-proclaimed artist. So the Art Annual has been really important to me throughout my years in school because it's giving me something to showcase, I think, because normally when someone like me does art, you don't really show it off to people unless it's for a gallery showing or a contest or whatever, and that's what I would consider it. It's more of a contest because you get chosen, and I've done it every year since elementary school. And the only year that I haven't done it and been in it is this year because I just hadn't had the time to submit a piece, but I've been working on other pieces outside of working on one specifically for the Art Annual. But I just like to see the progress of, because I have all the books, so you just kind of keep them. Once you're in it, you get one for free, so you just get to keep it and see the progress that you've made throughout the years, and I think that's kind of interesting. Personally, my biggest motivator is that it makes me feel confident, especially when I create a piece and then someone else sees it and they're like, wow, I really like that, could you do one for me? And it gives me initiative to want to keep doing that one specific piece of art, and then if I created something new and someone else would be saying, hey, I would like a piece of that art, and then you have more clientele. And just to try to get your art out there and through networking, I think is my biggest initiative right now to do art. But just inspiration lately has just been moving on in life and like new beginnings, and that's what I've been basing my art off of. Miss Dyson, absolutely. She's been a mentor to me, almost a second mother to me, and for having her I'm so grateful because she's shown me so many things that you can do with art and how to create your own art and not be afraid to try new things and not really care as much what other people say, but care just enough to have them critique your work but learn something from it. My favorite type of like an art piece that I've done so far is definitely pastel mixed media pieces, because I found that I really have a niche for pastel and mixed media, and when I put them together it just like opened up this whole new world of art opportunities for me, and I found that I have a really positive response from people I've shown it to, so I think that that's going to be a good move for me next, to try to make more pieces like that and try to network them out a little bit more. My inspiration for my art is typically new experiences, so anything that I'm doing in my life that is going to change me in any way or be a big part of my life, I like to use that and kind of add it into feelings that I'm getting from the experience and outside objects and different kind of, a lot of texture has been a big inspiration for me, so if I'm outside somewhere and I see something that has a really interesting texture, I'll take a picture of it and use it later, and then add that and incorporate it into the whole, just the opportunity to use new materials and use what other people have and what I don't have, and just kind of learn from other people around me and from myself as a new person, because things are different all the time, so you're always changing. And I think that's huge to progressing in an art form, is to just accept who you are as you're going through the stages of your life and how you're progressing as a person. I think that should definitely show through art, and that's what I usually try to showcase, and that's usually what I see when I look back on art pieces that I've done, and I've progressed hugely, I think, as a person, from being a kid to an adult now, and then from just drawing and starting out with just pencil and paper, which is what I always used to do, but to now using all these new materials like pastels and paints and even tissue paper, and you can just incorporate it all into one big piece. And I think that's huge because it shows how different things are, and I just think that that's a big part of progressing, is to just accept those differences and really use them to your advantage.
People will do all kinds of things like collages, and a lot of the middle school people will take photographs of three-dimensional artwork, and we'll put those in as well. And I really like the drawings though, because I think that they are the most readable as to how the kids are feeling, you know, at this time at Londonderry High School, because they're definitely, they give you a sense of how kids are feeling. Certain years, different themes become more evident. I didn't realize that they were going to be so theme-oriented, but even like some years there's lots of cats in them. And there'll be cats in them from elementary school straight up until high school, and there'll be like a whole bunch of different kinds of things like that. Other years, you'll have things that are like, all have to do with war, or, you know, anger and things like that, and you'll see lines that kind of represent that. So they really do give you an overview of how people are feeling in that year in public education. It's interesting. Next year is my last year. I retire next year, so I will do the art annual one more year and then pass it off to who's ever left behind who is interested in doing that kind of work. Doesn't really matter to me either way if they do. I think it's a great thing for the district. But if they choose not to, I understand, because it is a considerable amount of work. Do I think they will? I'm not really sure. But either way, it doesn't, you know, it's not my legacy. It is just something that I've done while I was here. And it would be a good thing to continue, but again, it's a lot of work, so I don't blame anyone for not wanting to take on the extra work. I've been here, my first graduating year was 87, so my 86, 87 was my first year. And we are now in 2016, so it'll be 30 years next year, half my life.